If you're over 60 and you've ever been jolted awake at 2 in the morning by a leg cramp so severe it felt like someone was twisting your calf muscle with a wrench, then what I'm about to share with you might help change your nights. But here's what many seniors don't realize. Those painful leg cramps that seem to come out of nowhere might not just be a normal part of aging. They could be your body's way of signaling a nutritional imbalance, and the solution might be sitting right in your kitchen cabinet. I'm here to share some fascinating research about nutrition and muscle cramps that many people haven't heard about. Today, I'm going to discuss 3 specific foods that research suggests may help reduce leg cramps in seniors and explain the science behind why they might work. But first, let me ask you this. Type 1 in the comments if you've ever had a leg cramp so bad it left you uncomfortable the next day, and tell me where are you joining from, because this information applies to people everywhere who are dealing with muscle cramps. Now, before we dive in, if this is your first time here, welcome. I create educational content about nutrition and healthy aging, sharing research-based information that you might not hear elsewhere. If you find value in what I share today, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. It helps me reach more people who might benefit from this information. Here's something that might surprise you. According to research, leg cramps affect over 60% of adults over 60. Yet many healthcare providers have limited time to discuss nutritional approaches to managing them. That's unfortunate, because emerging research suggests that many muscle cramps in older adults may be related to nutritional factors that could potentially be addressed through dietary changes. Let me start with something many people don't know: that nighttime leg cramp might not be caused by your age alone. Research suggests it could be related to mineral imbalances that are more common as we get older. The first food I want to discuss is one that most people think they're getting enough of. But studies suggest that many seniors may not be getting optimal amounts. Let me share a story that illustrates this point. I once knew someone who experienced frequent nighttime leg cramps for years. This person was health conscious, walked regularly, and tried to eat well, but they were waking up 2 to 3 times a week with leg cramps so severe that they had to get out of bed and walk around at 2 in the morning. When they had their blood work done, their potassium levels were technically in the normal range according to standard lab values, but they were at the lower end of that range. Here's what's interesting about potassium levels. The normal ranges used by most labs are based on preventing deficiency diseases, not necessarily on what's optimal for muscle function. Research shows that potassium plays a crucial role in muscle function. Think of potassium as helping coordinate the electrical signals that tell your muscles when to contract and when to relax. When potassium levels aren't optimal, those signals can become disrupted, potentially leading to muscle cramps. But here's something important to understand. As we age, our kidneys may become less efficient at retaining potassium. Additionally, many medications commonly prescribed to seniors can affect potassium levels. This means that the standard dietary recommendations might not be sufficient for optimal muscle function in older adults. Now, everyone knows bananas contain potassium, but here's what many people don't realize. One medium banana contains about 400 milligrams of potassium. While this is a good amount, research suggests that optimal intake for muscle function might be higher than what most people get from their regular diet. But here's an interesting approach that some people have found helpful. Instead of just eating a banana alone, try combining it with healthy fats and a small amount of natural sodium. For example, slicing a banana and eating it with a tablespoon of natural almond butter and just a tiny pinch of sea salt. Why might this combination be more effective? Research suggests that healthy fats can help with the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins and may also help with mineral absorption. The small amount of natural sodium works synergistically with potassium for optimal muscle and nerve function. The person I mentioned earlier tried this approach, eating their banana combination every day at 3 in the afternoon. Within a few weeks, they reported a significant reduction in nighttime cramps. While individual results vary, the timing seemed important because it ensured potassium was available in their system during the night when cramps were most likely to occur. Now, let me discuss the second food, and this one might surprise you because it's not commonly talked about for muscle cramps. Research suggests that magnesium deficiency is extremely common in older adults, with some studies indicating that up to 80% of seniors may not be getting adequate amounts. Let me share another story. I knew someone who experienced daytime leg cramps, usually when they were gardening or doing physical activities. They would be working in their yard, and suddenly their calf would seize up so badly that they'd have to sit down until it passed. This pattern is interesting because research suggests that magnesium deficiency often manifests as exercise-induced cramps, while potassium-related cramps tend to happen at rest or during sleep. Here's what's fascinating about magnesium. It's involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body. For muscle function specifically, magnesium acts like a natural muscle relaxant. It helps tell your muscles when to stop contracting. Without adequate magnesium, muscles may contract normally but have difficulty relaxing properly. Think of it this way. If potassium helps coordinate the muscle contraction signals, magnesium helps coordinate the muscle relaxation signals. When there's not enough magnesium available, the muscle might get stuck in the contracted position, which we experience as a cramp. Here's something important to know about magnesium testing. Standard blood tests for magnesium may not be very informative because only about 1% of your body's magnesium is in your blood. The rest is stored in your bones and muscles. This means you could have normal blood magnesium levels but still be deficient where it matters most for muscle function. The food I want to discuss for magnesium is pumpkin seeds, but not just any pumpkin seeds. Raw, organic pumpkin seeds prepared in a specific way may be more beneficial. Here's the preparation method that some people find helpful. Take exactly 1 ounce of raw pumpkin seeds. That's about 85 seeds or roughly 1/4 cup. Soak them in water with a pinch of sea salt for 30 minutes before eating them. This soaking process may help break down compounds that could interfere with mineral absorption. 1 ounce of properly prepared pumpkin seeds contains approximately 150 milligrams of magnesium in a highly bioavailable form. Research suggests that magnesium from food sources is generally better absorbed than from supplements. The person I mentioned who had daytime cramps tried this approach, eating their prepared pumpkin seeds at the same time every day right after lunch. They reported that within a few weeks, their exercise-induced cramps became much less frequent. The consistent timing seemed important for maintaining steady magnesium levels throughout the day. Now, the third food might challenge some common assumptions about calcium in seniors. Many older adults take calcium supplements, thinking they're supporting their bone health. However, research suggests that the relationship between calcium and muscle cramps is more complex than most people realize. Let me share one more story. I knew someone who was taking large amounts of calcium carbonate supplements daily, plus drinking milk and eating yogurt regularly. Despite all this calcium intake, they were experiencing frequent severe muscle cramps throughout the day and night. When they reviewed their supplement regimen with a healthcare provider, an interesting pattern emerged. They were taking massive amounts of calcium carbonate, a form of calcium that research shows is not very well absorbed and may actually interfere with the absorption of other important minerals like magnesium and potassium. Here's what research tells us about calcium and muscle cramps. It's not just about how much calcium you consume, it's about the ratio of calcium to other minerals, particularly magnesium and potassium. When calcium intake is very high relative to these other minerals, it may actually contribute to muscle cramping rather than preventing it. Think of it this way. Calcium helps muscles contract, while magnesium helps them relax. If you have too much calcium relative to magnesium, your muscles might have trouble relaxing properly, potentially leading to cramps. Research suggests that calcium carbonate, which is found in many over-the-counter supplements, is only absorbed at about 20 to 30% efficiency. Additionally, it may interfere with the absorption of other crucial minerals needed for proper muscle function. The third food approach focuses on dark, leafy greens, specifically a combination of spinach, kale, and Swiss chard. But here's the key: you need to prepare them in a way that maximizes mineral availability. Here's the preparation technique that some people find beneficial. Take 2 cups of mixed dark leafy greens. Add a tablespoon of olive oil and a pinch of sea salt. Then massage the leaves with your hands for 2 to 3 minutes until they become soft and darker in color. This massaging process breaks down the cell walls and may make the minerals more bioavailable. Dark leafy greens contain calcium, but it's in a natural ratio with magnesium and potassium that research suggests is more beneficial for muscle function. 2 cups of prepared greens provide approximately 200 milligrams of highly absorbable calcium, 80 milligrams of magnesium, and 800 milligrams of potassium. The person I mentioned who was having calcium-related cramps worked with their healthcare provider to reduce their calcium supplementation and instead focused on getting calcium from food sources like prepared leafy greens. They ate their massaged green salad at the same time every day, right before dinner. Within a few weeks, they reported a significant improvement in their cramping episodes. Now, here's where this approach becomes really interesting. When you combine all 3 foods in the right way and timing, research suggests they may work synergistically. The potassium from the banana, the magnesium from the pumpkin seeds, and the balanced minerals from the dark leafy greens create what some researchers call an optimal mineral profile for muscle function. Let me give you the specific protocol that some people have found helpful, always remembering that individual needs vary and you should consult with your healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes. The suggested daily protocol is as follows. In the morning, consider starting your day with a glass of filtered water with a small pinch of sea salt. This may help prime your system for optimal mineral absorption throughout the day. For the lunch protocol, eat exactly 1 ounce of raw, organic pumpkin seeds that have been soaked in salted water for 30 minutes. Chew them thoroughly and drink a full glass of water afterward. At 3 in the afternoon, and timing appears to be important here, eat 1 medium banana sliced with 1 tablespoon of natural almond butter and a tiny pinch of sea salt. This timing may help ensure potassium availability during the night when cramps are most likely to occur. For the dinner protocol, eat 2 cups of massaged dark leafy greens prepared with olive oil and sea salt. Eating this before your main meal may optimize absorption. For hydration, aim for at least 8 glasses of filtered water throughout the day, but try not to drink large amounts with meals as this may dilute digestive enzymes. Now, before anyone considers trying this approach, there are some important safety considerations that you must discuss with your healthcare provider. If you're taking blood pressure medications, the potassium in this protocol could potentially enhance the effects of certain medications. Your blood pressure should be monitored closely, and medications may need adjustment. If you have kidney disease, high potassium intake can be dangerous. You must consult your healthcare provider before increasing potassium intake. If you're taking blood thinners, the vitamin K in dark leafy greens can affect blood clotting. You may need to maintain consistent intake and have your levels monitored. If you have digestive issues, start with smaller amounts and gradually increase to avoid digestive upset. Based on anecdotal reports from people who have tried this approach, here's what you might realistically expect, though remember that individual results vary significantly. In the first week, some people report a slight reduction in cramp frequency and intensity. A few people notice improvements within 3 to 4 days, while others see no change initially. In weeks 2 to 3, many people report experiencing fewer cramping episodes, though the degree of improvement varies widely. After a month of consistent application, some people report significant improvement or complete resolution of their cramping issues, while others may see more modest benefits. It's important to understand that consistency appears to be crucial. Missing days may affect progress as your body needs steady, consistent mineral levels to maintain proper muscle function. Based on feedback from people who have tried this approach, here are some common mistakes to avoid. Mistake number 1 is eating the foods at random times instead of following consistent timing. The timing appears to matter because it may help ensure minerals are available when your body needs them most. Mistake number 2 is not preparing the foods correctly. The soaking of pumpkin seeds, massaging of greens, and combining banana with healthy fat all appear to be important for optimal mineral absorption. Mistake number 3 is expecting instant results and giving up too soon. If your body has been mineral deficient for years, it may take time to replenish stores and see improvements. Mistake number 4 is continuing high-dose calcium supplementation while trying this approach. Excess calcium may interfere with the absorption of the minerals you're trying to increase. Now, I want to address a question that often comes up. You might be wondering why this nutritional approach isn't more widely discussed in conventional medical settings. The truth is that most medical schools provide very limited nutrition education. The average medical student receives less than 20 hours of nutrition training in 4 years of education. Most healthcare providers are trained to treat symptoms with medications rather than address potential nutritional factors. Additionally, there's limited funding for research on whole foods because they can't be patented. Most nutrition research is funded by companies that can profit from the results, which tends to focus on supplements rather than food-based approaches. However, the research that does exist on minerals and muscle function is quite compelling, even if it's not widely publicized. Let me address some practical concerns people often have about this approach. Regarding cost, 1 banana costs about 50 cents, 1 tablespoon of almond butter costs about 30 cents, 1 ounce of organic pumpkin seeds costs about 75 cents, and 2 cups of organic leafy greens cost about $1.50. That's a total of about $3 per day, which is often less expensive than many supplement regimens. Regarding taste preferences, if you don't enjoy these foods in their basic form, there are modifications you can make. Bananas can be frozen and blended into smoothies. Pumpkin seeds can be seasoned with various spices after soaking. Leafy greens can be gradually introduced into smoothies or soups if you're not used to eating them. For people who travel frequently, pumpkin seeds can be pre-soaked and stored in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. Bananas are available almost everywhere, and many restaurants can provide simple salads with leafy greens. It's worth noting that these foods provide benefits beyond potentially helping with muscle cramps. Bananas provide vitamin B6, vitamin C, and fiber. Pumpkin seeds provide zinc, healthy fats, and protein. Dark leafy greens provide iron, folate, vitamins A, C, and K, and numerous beneficial plant compounds. So even if someone doesn't experience dramatic improvements in cramping, they're still supporting their overall nutritional status with these whole food choices. I want to emphasize again that this information is educational and not intended as medical advice. Everyone's situation is different, and what works for one person may not work for another. Some people may have underlying medical conditions that require different approaches to managing muscle cramps. If you're experiencing frequent or severe muscle cramps, it's important to work with a healthcare provider to rule out any underlying medical conditions and to ensure that any dietary changes are appropriate for your individual situation. That said, the research on minerals and muscle function is fascinating, and many people have found that paying attention to their mineral intake through whole food sources has been helpful for various aspects of their health. If you found this information interesting, please give this video a thumbs up and consider sharing it with others who might benefit from learning about the potential connection between nutrition and muscle cramps. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more evidence-based content about nutrition and healthy aging. I try to share research-backed information that you might not hear elsewhere. Drop a comment below and let me know if you've ever noticed connections between your diet and muscle cramps, or if you have questions about the nutritional approaches we discussed today. Remember, while muscle cramps are common as we age, they're not necessarily something you have to just accept. Understanding the potential nutritional factors involved gives you options to explore, always in consultation with your healthcare provider. Thank you for watching, and remember that small, consistent changes in nutrition can sometimes have surprisingly significant impacts on how we feel and function as we age.